How's it going, everybody? Daner here with North Central Coins, and welcome back to another episode of the most rare and valuable Canadian coins. Today we're going to be discussing a toonie variety that can be worth hundreds if not thousands of dollars that you may have had no idea even existed. Because this is a fairly modern coin and the Canadian Toonie or $2 coin is so widely used and accessible, it makes looking for this rare example pretty simple. In this video, we will explore the historical context surrounding the production of this coin and delve into why it holds such importance in Canadian numismatic history. Additionally, we will discuss the distinguishing and identifying features, its significance amongst collectors, and also its potential value if you are ever to find a legitimate example. Before I do get into this, I would really appreciate if you guys would smash that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and ring that bell notification so you can stay up to date with my new content as it is being released. Also, make sure to stay to the end of the video if you guys would like to find out how much you could get for this coin if you found one. And then without further ado, what do you say we get right into it and discuss the 1996 German planchet toonie? Let's get it, guys. The Canadian $2 coin, known officially as the Toonie, was first issued on February 19, 1996 by Minister of Public Works Diane Marleau. Its French name is Pièce de $2 Canadiens, often known as 2 piastres or 2 piastres round. It has the greatest current market value of any Canadian coin as of 2023. The Toonie is a bimetallic coin with a polar bear illustration by artist Brent Townsend on one side. Like all other coins now in circulation on Canada, Queen Elizabeth II is featured on the obverse. The text Elizabeth II/DG Regina text is written in a font that is distinctive from other Canadian coins. A patented, distinctive bimetallic coin locking mechanism is used to create the coin. The expected lifespan of the coin is 20 years. The no longer in circulation Canadian $2 bill actually costs less to produce but has a much shorter lifespan of just 1 year. The loonie and toonie have undergone several design revisions, including new security elements, according to the Royal Canadian Mint, which they unveiled on April 10, 2012. Prior to 2012, the inner core of Canadian toonies were composed of aluminum bronze coated with multiply plated brass, while the outside ring was composed of steel coated with multiply plated nickel. Previously, coins had an aluminum bronze inner core and a pure nickel outer ring. The thickness lowered from 1.8 to 1.75 millimeters and the weight decreased from 7.30 to 6.92 grams. The smaller denominations of Canadian coinage already use multiply plated steel technology, according to the Mint, which produces an electromagnetic signature that is more difficult to forge than that of standard alloy coins. Additionally, employing steel results in cost savings and prevents variations in the price or supply of nickel. Since many of the notable security measures were not implemented until the year 2012, there have been several cases and reports of Canadian counterfeit toonies. I have actually stumbled across them myself. In some of my coin roll hunts, they are pretty easy to tell apart. Usually you can tell by the pointy nose on the queen and what they call the camel toe on the polar bear. But that is definitely the small downside when it comes to producing coins out of steel and cheaper alloys, is that it makes them a lot easier to counterfeit when they do not have advanced security measures. The word toonie is a combination of the numeral 2 and the name of the Canadian $1 coin currently used in circulation, the loonie. Although it is often misspelled TWONIE or TWOONIE, Canadian publications and the Royal Canadian Mint officially use the word and spelling TOONIE. In honor of the Inuit and their northern culture, Jack Ierak Anahuac, a member of parliament from an Aboriginal tribe located in Nunavut, proposed the name Nanook. However, this suggestion was largely overlooked in favor of the well-known toonie. The Royal Canadian Mint acquired the rights to the name Toonie in 2006 since it had gained such widespread acceptance. Following a contest to give the bear a name, Churchill was chosen, paying homage to both Winston Churchill and frequent sightings of polar bears in Churchill, Manitoba. Finance Minister Paul Martin announced the replacement of the $2 banknote with a coin in the year 1995 in the Canadian federal budget speech. The Royal Canadian Mint then spent $17,400 Canadian to canvass 2,000 Canadian households regarding which of the 10 theme options they preferred. Under the direction of C. Truong, the Royal Canadian Mint Engineer Division designed the $2 coin to be made from two different metals. The metals for the bimetallic coin would be lighter and thinner than those produced anywhere in the world at the time. To join the two parts, the engineering division selected a bimechanical locking mechanism. By the end of 1996, the Winnipeg facility had struck 375 million of these coins, and the coin was officially launched at Ben's Deli in Montreal on February 19, 1996. The community of Campbellford, Ontario, home to the coin's designer, constructed an 8-meter tall or 26-foot Toonie monument similar to the Big Loonie in Echo Bay and the iconic Big Nickel in Sudbury. Unlike the Loonie, the Toonie and $2 bill were not being produced at the same time as each other, as the $2 bill was withdrawn from circulation on February 16, 1996, 3 days prior to the Toonie's introduction. Some of the original Toonies that were released for circulation actually had a defect. When the first batch of Toonies were struck hard or frozen, some of the coins might separate due to a malfunction in the bimetallic locking mechanism. The Royal Canadian Mint reacted by saying that there was a 1 in 60 million chance of a Toonie falling apart, despite media reports of defective Toonies. Section 456 of the Canadian Criminal Code defines defacing coin currency as purposely attempting to split a Toonie. This is actually a criminal offense in Canada. Now, what do you say we get into the Toonie that you guys all came here to find out about, and that is the 1996 German planchet. When the first $2 coin was officially launched on February 19, 1996, an event was held where it was said that 60 million of the new coins should be made available. Not yet ready with the new technology to meet this demand, Canada actually purchased from Deutsche Nickel, a German supplier, planchets needed to produce the first 60 million coins. The Royal Canadian Mint was able to make the first 60 million $2 coins in 1996 thanks to the production of 10 million pre-assembled planchets by the company Deutsche Nickel in Germany. Unlike the Canadian planchet Toonies, the 1996 $2 German planchet coins feature lines with a dull matte texture across the ring. It is considerably easier to distinguish between the German and Canadian planchets when the coins are uncirculated. However, once these coins enter circulation and start to wear down, the distinguishing lines become less noticeable. Despite this, the use of German planchets was a crucial factor in meeting the high demand for $2 coins in Canada at that time. Now, before we get into the values for the 1996 German planchet Toonie, first let's go over some of the basic specifications for the coin. The 1996 Canadian planchet Toonie was produced at a mintage figure of 315,483,000. The 1996 German planchet was produced at a mintage figure of 10 million. The coins are composed with an outer ring of 100% nickel and an inner core of 92% copper, 6% aluminum, and 2% nickel. They have a weight of 7.3 grams, a diameter of 28 millimeters, a thickness of 1.8 millimeters. The designers for the coin are Dora DePadre Hunt and Augo Aran for the obverse, and Brent Townsend and Augo Aran for the reverse. It is magnetic and has a die-axis in metal alignment, as is the standard for most Canadian coins. So when it comes to value, a lot of the time when you are dealing with Canadian loonies and toonies, it is very rare that you will find any, even with errors or varieties, that are worth a lot of money in a low grade state. Usually they have to be in a mint state to get the most amount or premium for the coin, and the German planchet, unfortunately, is not much different than the other cases. If you do find one of these and it is at the low end of the Sheldon scale, so beat up and worn and been through the meat grinder, firstly, it's going to be very hard to identify that it is a German planchet, and it's not going to be worth much or anything above face value. But as you start to get into the MS scale, you start to see some pretty big price jumps for this coin. It can be worth around $80 for an MS63, it can be worth $271 for an MS65, and all the way up to $694 for an MS66, which on Coins in Canada is currently the highest graded known example. If you were to find one of these and it's scored in the MS67 range, there is no reason that it could push the $1,000 mark. This is definitely a super rare variety to look for, and they did make quite a few of them. 10 million is a pretty high mintage figure, but the trick in these is identifying the German planchet. It will look a little bit more greasy. You will see those dull texture lines as well. I have actually found one of these German planchet Toonies in one of my hunts, and I could definitely tell it apart from some of the other uncirculated 1996 Canadian planchet Toonies. They stand out quite a bit. Now, just to give you a quick idea, if you were to find one of the regular 1996 Canadian planchet toonies, the maximum amount of money you could actually get for that coin is $78 for an MS66. So the German planchet is worth about 10 times more, 10 times as rare, 10 times as valuable. What do you guys think about these 1996 toonies? What would you ever do if you found a legitimate example of one of these coins, or if you ever have found any of the coins discussed in this video or any that are similar? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to know. Also, I would really appreciate if you guys would smash that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and also hit that bell notification so you can stay up to date with my new content as it is being released. But I think that is pretty much going to do it for this one, folks. So thank you everybody so much for watching. But until the next one, peace out and have a good one, y'all.